Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate, or I go by AlwaysMoreSims here on YouTube, and today we have another speed build. So that's 3 in the matter in the span of 2 weeks. But I needed to get this built for my sim Max, and his future partner, so here we are. If you follow my channel, I have a challenge at the moment, the Feig Legacy Challenge. And Feig stands for every generation there's a genre, and our current generation is based on romance novels, and I base each generation off one of my favorite book series. I love to read. I don't get to read as much as I would like, or when I have the time to read, I often find I don't have the energy for it, so I don't read like I used to. But when I was younger, one of the first big book series that I remember being obsessed with and really getting into was The Mortal Instruments. And I've talked about it before. I know that looking back on it, yes, The Mortal Instruments is a little bit on the sketch side due to the fact that there's believed to be incest between the two main characters. And this is a spoiler, they're not siblings. The books make it seem like they are from the end of the first one to about 3/4 of the way, possibly even closer to the end of the third book, and the two main characters are still basically yearning for each other despite being under the impression that they are siblings. So I get it, okay? I know it's kind of questionable, but I don't know, I loved The Mortal Instruments when I was younger. So I felt like I needed to have a generation at some point that was based off of them. So yeah, we had Jace was our heir. Jace married a lovely lady named Dakota, but Dakota was originally made in Clary's, who is the main character of the series, of The Mortal Instruments, not the overall, because it's there's a whole bigger, I don't even know what Cassandra Clare calls the entire thing, but there's the dark, I don't know how to say this word, artifices, I don't know. They're Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, Clockwork Princess. There's those, and then there was The Mortal Instruments, and then she's made a couple more sub-series, I don't even know, within, but I only ever read The Mortal Instruments. I tried reading, Clockwork Angel. I think Clockwork Angel's the first one. I don't know. They're actually on the shelf behind me, but I can't see the spines from here. Anyways, I tried reading it. I couldn't really get into it, but I read The Mortal Instruments. I loved The Mortal Instruments. I think of them very fondly. And anyways, so our generation heir was Jace. And his wife, Dakota, yes, looks a lot like Clary, because I actually forgot. So in this challenge, my Sims will marry other Sims placed into the world. I've done townies before, but the townies all kind of look the same at some point, and I would rather make a couple Sims that I personally really like, and then place them in the world and have my Sim kind of pick between those Sims rather than leave it up to townies, to be honest. But I made Dakota. I forgot that I make just kind of random Sims that they're not tied to the generation's book inspiration. So I spent all this time making pretty much Clary, only to remember that he's not actually supposed to marry a Sim named Clary. So I ended up just renaming her. Her name was then changed to Dakota. And they have had 5 beautiful children together. I am so impressed with the kids' genetics. Some of the prettiest Sims I think I've had in a really long time. And that's not to say that, I love all of my Sims, so, that's not saying that Sims I've had in, other challenges or just, I don't think that they're pretty Sims, but I don't, specifically their daughter Isabel. And it is very fitting, I think, for a sim that is named after Isabel Lightwood. But she's beautiful. Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. I had to save her to my bin to use at some point, like, down the line. Their kids are just all gorgeous. So I was like, wow, the genetics were working overtime. But yeah, so we've had Jace. Jace kind of played a heartbreaker, but not intentionally. So where Jace in the Mortal Instruments prior to Clary was very much a playboy, intentionally, like, Jace really, like, he was, messing around with these girls for, that purely physical, satisfaction for him. He wasn't looking for a relationship. The story that I set up here in this generation, Jace's parents did not have a very healthy relationship. His mom couldn't care less about him. She was in the music career. She was very focused on being a pop star and making music. And when she found out she was pregnant with Jace, she kept the pregnancy solely for Jace's dad, Deacon. And as soon as Jace was born, his mom went right back to work and left Jace home with Deacon all the time. So Deacon was like the main caregiver, the main provider. So Jace and his dad were really close. Jace and his mom, not so much. And then we moved to Sunlit Tides, our current world, and his parents got divorced, and his father actually remarried. His mom dated around, had some different boyfriends. They both passed away, obviously, because now Jace is an elder. If you're keeping with the series, Jace is an elder, Dakota's an elder. So his parents are long gone. But Jace didn't really know what a healthy relationship looked like. He yearned to have someone love him the way his dad tried to love his mom. Like, he really wanted, like, a healthy relationship, but he didn't really know what a healthy relationship was or what that looked like. And so he kind of went about it in the wrong way. And the more time he spent chasing what he thought was love, the more it turned into lust. And so then he was getting the two confused. And he had the heartbreaker lifetime wish. So he dated 10 different women. And then Dakota was the last one he met, and he had this instant connection to her, and he just fell head over heels for her. He wasn't interested in, he wasn't wanting he wasn't wanting to just sleep with her, which is what it had turned into with the other Sims. And he's like, oh my gosh, this must be it. This must be love. I know that's not how the song goes, but anyway, so right after he turned into an adult, he met Dakota. They were pretty quick getting married, and they were really quick having their family, because I was now aware that Jace was getting older. I was running out of time, and I wanted them to have 5 kids. And so they had the kids, boom, 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 back to back, one right after the other. Their oldest is Alec, based after Alec Lightwood, and he is married to Magnus Bane, and they adopted a son together, and his name is Luke. Now, I know in the series they adopt a son together and they name him Max, but that's not what happened here, because we'll get to that. So they had Alec, and then they had Isabel, and Isabel married a sim named Simon, and together they have a son named Raphael. And then there's Clary. They did have a daughter named Clary. Clary got married to a sim named Jonathan, which is Jace's real name in the book. And they actually just had twin girls named Cassandra and Clarissa. So Cassandra for Cassandra Clare, but then I was like, okay, Claire's too close to Clary, but Clary is short for Clarissa, so what if we did Cassandra and Clarissa? So just had twin girls there, and now we're currently working on Max and having Max meet his future partner and getting him married, and then we'll just be left with our heir. Now, in the book series, Max is Alec and Isabel's younger brother, and he is unalived. And the thing is, the sim that I want Max to marry I didn't think this through initially. The Sim's name is Sebastian, and if you know the book series, Sebastian is actually the person who unalives Max. So I didn't think that through initially, and I don't want to think too hard about it right now, because while I've made Sebastian mean-spirited in the game, I was kind of talking about it at the end of my video on Monday, that he's kind of cold, and he can be mean, and he can be nasty to other Sims, and he's just kind of bitter with the world. But then there's Max, and Max is innocent and just a goofball. He's a geek, he's a nerd, all he wants to do is write and make his comics, and like that's all Max really cares about. And there's just something about like just how kind of innocent Max is that really softens Sebastian, and like Sebastian ends up getting a soft spot for him. So I'm not going to follow through with this whole thing of Sebastian being a nasty, evil, mean person, like he is in the books. But I didn't know what else. I was like, I need another Sim to name a partner, and granted, I probably could have had Max just stay single, but then story progression would have buddied him off with someone, and I'm too much of a control freak to just let that happen. So he's going to be getting with Sebastian, and so this is actually their house, which you know what, I should probably talk about this just a little bit. The house that I'm building. We're only, 12 minutes into this video, and I'm just now talking about it. This house is called Seabreeze Slate, because it is a grayish color. It is very gray, white, and black, very monochrome. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this house. I don't love it. I think it's okay, but I don't think it fits very well with Sunlit Tides, which is the world that I built it in, and oh my goodness, Sunlit Tides was struggling. The save was struggling while I was building this. It was not happy with me at all trying to do this, trying to build this house. But I don't know, it's a 3-bed house. It has 3 bathrooms. It has laundry. This house does not have a nursery. So all the other houses that I've built for Max's siblings have all had nurseries, but this house does not. And yeah, I don't know. I felt like Sebastian would be in kind of like a modern-ish house. And the thought process here was that this is Sebastian's house and Max just moves in with him, so I wasn't really thinking much about Max's style. I was thinking more about Sebastian's style, because Max's style is a lot warmer, a lot cozier, nerdier. Like, he has his current bedroom, and like the family house has an arcade machine and like a beanbag chair, and like it's a lot comfier, comfy, cozy. This house not so much. It's pretty basic decorating. Like, it's not like over the top. I felt like if there was any artwork, it would be again kind of along the monochrome color scheme. It would be like actual like painting type artwork. Not graphics or canvas or like anything like that. But like, again, Sebastian's just kind of mad at the world, and so like his last priority is, putting a whole lot of effort into the decoration of his home. And like realistic, like if I was going to be playing as Max and Sebastian, I would come into the house and like I would kind of go through this process of starting to add more color and make it cozier and just more family friendly. But because I am not going to be playing as them, I'm not worried about that. But if this was a house I was going to be playing in, that is what I would be doing. Is like showing Max's kind of influence at softening some of Sebastian's edges. And yeah, it's a very serious house, which again, I also don't think is very Max. Max would have like his nerdy game posters. He'd have a game console somewhere. He'd have his arcade machine somewhere. He would need like an office to write his comics in. And like, I might even have, like, if Max and Alec had changed spots, like maybe I would have had it to where I would have gone back after Max and Sebastian were together for a while and have redecorated some of the house. I don't know. And I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm trying to set Max up to be in a toxic relationship, because again, that's not my goal here. I'm trying to show some kind of character development, though, that again, Sebastian is pissed off at everything, meets Max kind of calms him, softens him, but that's not what the house reflects right now, because right now it would be just Sebastian's house. Now, I should have decorated one of the bedrooms, and I'm going to spoil a little bit about Sebastian. So Sebastian actually already has a kid. He has a son with another sim in the world. I don't think the sim is anyone important in the books, and this is a thing. Sebastian does have a kid with someone in the books, and this person is of high importance. But I did not go to that length. I did not go to those lengths in the game, because one, that means I would have had to switch over to playing as Sebastian, which means I would have lost some of the wishes and stuff that I had for my Sims. And there's some wishes that I've had saved for a while, and I don't know. In like all honesty, they don't really mean that much, but I just didn't want to worry about switching households and losing progress and things, and so I didn't. If I had, I probably would have done a little bit more character building for Sebastian and this other partner and the kid. I actually need to double check that Sebastian has broken up with this person. He's not going to be, like, it was not an amicable breakup. He, in my mind, he supports the child, but he just kind of, how do I say it? I don't cuss on this channel. He just kind of half bleeps it. He doesn't give the kid his full attention. He doesn't go, above and beyond. He doesn't go out of his way for this kid, for this child. Now, I think it'd be one of those things that, like, Max learns he has a child, and he's like, oh my gosh, like, I would love to meet them. Like, they should come over. Max wants a kid. So, like, if they have a kid, maybe, well, look how much you love, our kid. Maybe you should give your other kid the same, kind of affection, same kind of opportunity. Like, I think Max would be very welcoming to the other child. And I think maybe that could help their relationship. I don't know. This is a lot of me trying to insert realism into a simulation game. Granted, it's a life simulator, so it's supposed to be based on realism, but I am doing a whole lot of storytelling that is not being reflected in the actual game. But yeah, so one of the bedrooms is supposed to be for this other child. I think it would be that one on the front there. And I mean, I might still go back and decorate it, and I feel like I say that for every house. Like with Alec's house, I'm like, oh, I need to go back and redecorate the spare bedroom for their child that they adopted, because it is very much furnished like a spare bedroom, not like a kid's room. I have not done that. I think I said it with Izzy's house too, that like I decorated the nursery, but I didn't decorate the children's rooms. Or maybe I did for Isabel. No, I didn't decorate them for Clary's house. So like I did decorate the kids' house for Isabel, not the kids' house, the kids' rooms. I did not for Clary's house. So like then I was like, maybe I'll go back and decorate those rooms later, and I don't know. I didn't. So I say these things, but I don't know that I'll ever actually do it. Also, so the whole part, like the the terrain here out front. I wanted it to look a little messy and a little overgrown, that Sebastian couldn't care less about what the outside of his house looks like. So that's the whole point of like the really big kind of like overgrown bush, and just like, I don't know. It is supposed to look like that. I know it looks a little sloppy. That's kind of the point. Also, the custom content cars do not come with the house, and the garage is really tight, so just keep that in mind. But we're here in the screenshots, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I do have my gaming channel and my Twitter, along with this house, all linked down in the description below. If you'd like to check any of those things out, I'd appreciate it. Please don't claim the house as yours. Give credit where credit is due, and goodbye!